Ladies and gentlemen, I want to start with a simple question. Have you ever reacted to a situation and later regretted it? Maybe you snapped at someone, made a rash decision, or allowed stress to take control. We've all been there, but what if I told you that the key to making better decisions, leading with clarity, and even feeling happier is learning to train your mind to be calm in every? We admire great leaders not just for their vision, but for their ability to stay composed under pressure. Think of people like Nelson Mandela, Martin Luther King Jr., or any great leader you respect. They weren't calm because things were easy. They were calm because they had trained themselves to be. Because here's the truth. Calm is not a personality trait. It's a skill. And just like any skill, it can be developed. Situation? When we face stress, our brain triggers a fight or flight response. It's a survival mechanism designed to protect us. But in modern life, it often works against us. A tough email from your boss, an argument with a friend, or a challenge in business, these things aren't life-threatening, but our brain reacts as if they are. Many people believe that calmness is something you're either born with or without. Some assume that certain individuals are naturally composed under pressure, while others are destined to react emotionally to stress. But the truth is, staying calm is not a personality trait, it's a skill, and like any skill, it can be learned, developed, and mastered over time. Think about any great leader, athlete, or high performer. They don't remain calm in tough situations simply because they were born that way. They have trained themselves to be. They have conditioned their minds to stay composed under pressure. They have learned how to respond to chaos with clarity rather than panic. This ability is what separates effective leaders from those who crumble under stress, what allows athletes to perform in the most high-stake moments, and what enables successful entrepreneurs to make smart decisions even when everything seems to be falling apart. What makes this concept so powerful is that it puts the responsibility in your hands. If calmness were purely a personality trait, you would have no control over it. You would be at the mercy of your genetics, your upbringing, or your circumstances. But because calmness is a skill, you have the ability to develop it. You have the power to train your mind to remain steady no matter what is happening around you. The challenge, of course, is that the modern world constantly tests our ability to stay calm. We live in a time where we are bombarded with information, notifications, and stressors every single day, whether it's work deadlines, financial pressures, relationship conflicts, or unexpected obstacles. There is always something trying to pull us into a state of anxiety or overwhelm. In these moments, it's easy to react impulsively. It's easy to get frustrated, angry, or fearful, but when we do, we give away our power. We allow external situations to dictate our internal state. The good news is that just like physical exercise strengthens the body, mental training strengthens the mind. The more you practice staying calm in small moments, the more natural it becomes in bigger challenges. You wouldn't expect to lift heavy weights at the gym without first building a foundation of strength. And the same is true for mental resilience. One of the best ways to start training yourself to be calm is through self-awareness. The next time you feel stress creeping in, take a step back and observe your reaction. Are you breathing fast? Is your heart racing? Are your thoughts spiraling into worst-case scenarios? Simply becoming aware of your response to stress is the first step in changing it. Once you become aware, the next step is to practice control. Instead of reacting immediately, pause. Take a slow, deep breath. Remind yourself that you have a choice in how you respond. This small pause is powerful because it gives your rational mind time to take over instead of letting your emotions dictate your actions. Over time, these small moments of practice add up. The more you train yourself to pause and stay composed, the more automatic it becomes. Eventually, it will feel natural to remain calm, even in the most difficult situations. This is how great leaders operate. This is how elite athletes maintain focus under pressure. And this is how you can train your mind to stay steady in the face of life's challenges. Calmness isn't something you're either born with or without. It's something you build. And once you develop this skill, it becomes one of your greatest assets. It allows you to think clearly, make better decisions, and navigate life with confidence. The best part? It's entirely within your control. In every stressful situation, there is a brief moment between what happens and how you respond. That moment, however small, holds immense power. It is the space where you get to decide whether you react impulsively or respond with clarity. Learning to pause before reacting is one of the simplest yet most powerful habits you can develop for a calmer mind and a more composed life. Most people don't pause. They react immediately. When someone says something upsetting, they snap back. When something doesn't go as planned, they panic. When pressure builds, they let their emotions take over. These reactions are natural because our brains are wired to respond quickly to perceived threats. This fight or flight response was useful for our ancestors when facing real physical dangers, but in modern life, reacting without thinking often causes more harm than good. Imagine you receive an email that upsets you. Your instinct might be to fire back a response, defending yourself or attacking the other person's argument. But what happens when you send an email written in frustration? You might regret it later. You might escalate a conflict unnecessarily. You might say something you don't truly mean. And all of this happens because you didn't take a moment to pause. Now imagine a different scenario. You read the upsetting email and feel that rush of frustration building, but instead of responding immediately, you pause. You take a deep breath. You step away for a few minutes or even a few hours. In that pause, your emotions settle, your rational mind takes over. When you come back to respond, you do so with clarity, not anger. The result? A much better outcome. This concept applies to every area of life. Whether you're dealing with a difficult coworker, a frustrating situation at home, or an unexpected challenge in your business, the ability to pause before reacting can prevent unnecessary stress, avoid conflicts, and lead to better decision making. The pause is small, but its impact is huge. It shifts you from being reactive to being intentional. Instead of letting external situations control you, you take control of how you respond. This is what emotionally intelligent and highly effective people do differently. They don't let emotions hijack their decisions. They create space to think, evaluate, and choose the best course of action. One of the best ways to practice pausing is by training yourself in low-stakes situations. The next time someone cuts you off in traffic, instead of honking or yelling, pause. Take a deep breath, let it go. When your internet lags during an important meeting, instead of immediately getting frustrated, pause. Accept the situation and think about your next steps. These small moments of practice build the habit of pausing so that when bigger challenges arise, you're already trained to handle them calmly. Another effective technique is counting. When you feel the urge to react emotionally, try counting to 5 in your head. This small delay interrupts the automatic response and gives your brain time to regain control. It's a simple but powerful trick that can make a huge difference in how you handle stressful moments. It's also helpful to remind yourself that most situations are not as urgent as they feel. Our brains often make problems seem bigger than they are in the heat of the moment. By pausing, you give yourself a chance to gain perspective. Will this situation matter in a week, a month, a year? Often the answer is no. And realizing this helps you respond with more wisdom and less emotion. Over time, pausing before reacting becomes second nature. You'll notice that you get less stressed, make fewer mistakes, and feel more in control of your life. People will respect you more because you handle situations with grace instead of impulsiveness. Most importantly, you'll gain peace of mind knowing that you are choosing your responses rather than being controlled by your emotions. The ability to pause is one of the most underrated skills in life, yet it has the power to transform the way you think, lead, and interact with the world. And the best part, you can start practicing it right now. One of the biggest sources of stress in life comes from trying to control things that are beyond our power. We spend so much time and energy worrying about outcomes we can't change, people we can't control, and circumstances that are out of our hands. The more we try to hold on to things that are uncontrollable, the more anxious, frustrated, and overwhelmed we become. But when we shift our focus to what we can control and let go of what we can't, we find a sense of peace and empowerment that transforms the way we experience life. Think about it. How many times have you stressed over what someone else thinks of you, or worried endlessly about something that might happen in the future, or replayed a past mistake over and over, wishing you had done something differently? In each of these cases, your energy is being wasted on things outside your control. You can't change someone else's opinions. You can't predict the future. You can't rewrite the past. But you can control your own thoughts, actions, and mindset. And that's where true power lies. One of the best examples of this principle in action is found in the world of sports. Imagine a basketball player taking a free throw in the final seconds of a game. They can't control the crowd screaming around them. They can't control whether the referee made a fair call. They can't even control whether the ball ultimately goes into the hoop. But what can they control? Their breathing, their focus, their preparation, their technique. The best athletes don't waste mental energy on the things they can't control. They put all their focus into what they can influence, and that's what makes them successful. The same applies to leadership. Great leaders don't dwell on market conditions they can't change. They don't obsess over the competition. Instead, they focus on their own decisions, their own strategies, and their own ability to adapt. That's why they remain calm under pressure, because they understand that worrying about the uncontrollable is a distraction. The key to applying this in daily life is simple. Whenever you feel stress building up, ask yourself one question: is this something I can control? If the answer is no, then let it go. If the answer is yes, then shift your focus to taking action. For example, let's say you're stuck in a traffic jam, running late for an important meeting. You can't control the traffic, you can't make the cars move faster, but you can control how you respond. You can take deep breaths instead of letting frustration build. You can use the time to listen to a podcast or mentally prepare for your meeting. You can call ahead and let someone know you're delayed. The situation itself hasn't changed, but by focusing on what you can control, you prevent unnecessary stress. This mindset shift is especially important when dealing with other people. We often try to change or control others, whether it's our boss, our partner, or our family members. But no matter how much we try, we cannot control other people's thoughts, emotions, or actions. What we can control is how we communicate, how we set boundaries, and how we respond to their behavior. When we stop trying to control others and start focusing on our own actions, relationships become healthier and conflicts become easier to navigate. Letting go of what you can't control doesn't mean giving up or not caring. It means choosing to put your energy where it actually makes a difference. It means shifting from worry to action, from stress to strategy, from fear to focus. When you start applying this mindset, you'll feel an immediate difference. You'll stop wasting time and energy on things that drain you. You'll feel more at peace because you're not constantly fighting against things you can't change. You'll be able to make decisions with clarity instead of anxiety. Life will always throw unexpected challenges your way. There will always be things beyond your control. But the good news is that the most powerful tool you have, your own mind, is entirely within your control. And once you learn to direct your energy toward the things you can change, you'll realize that true calmness, confidence, and strength were within you all along. Our brains are wired for survival, not calmness. When we encounter a stressful situation, our brain's fight or flight response kicks in automatically. This mechanism was crucial for our ancestors, helping them escape from predators and survive dangerous situations. But in today's world, most of the stress we experience isn't life-threatening. It comes from work deadlines, social pressures, financial concerns, or unexpected challenges. Yet our brains still react as if we were in immediate danger. The problem is that when we allow this automatic response to take over, we lose control. Our emotions drive our decisions, and we end up reacting in ways we later regret. The good news is that our brains are adaptable. Just like we can train our bodies through exercise, we can train our minds to stay calm instead of reacting impulsively. This process, known as neuroplasticity, means that with consistent effort, we can rewire our brains to respond to stress in a healthier way. The goal is to move from reacting, which is automatic and emotional, to responding, which is intentional and thoughtful. One of the first steps in rewiring your brain for calmness is becoming aware of your automatic reactions. The next time you feel stressed, frustrated, or overwhelmed, pay attention to what happens in your body and mind. Do you feel tension in your muscles? Is your heart racing? Are your thoughts spiraling into worst-case scenarios? Simply recognizing these patterns gives you the power to interrupt them. Once you become aware of your response to stress, the next step is to introduce a pause. This pause is crucial because it gives your rational mind a chance to take over before your emotions drive your actions. One simple yet powerful technique is controlled breathing. When you feel your stress response kicking in, take a slow, deep breath in through your nose, hold it for a few seconds, and exhale slowly. This signals to your brain that you are safe, helping to deactivate the fight or flight response. With regular practice, this technique becomes a natural tool for staying calm in difficult situations. Another effective way to rewire your brain for calmness is to reframe your thoughts. Often, stress is not caused by the situation itself, but by how we interpret it. Imagine you make a mistake at work. Your automatic reaction might be, "I'm terrible at this, I'm going to get fired." This thought triggers anxiety and fear, making it harder to focus. But if you pause and reframe your thought, "Everyone makes mistakes. This is an opportunity to learn and improve," you shift your mindset from panic to problem solving. Over time, practicing this type of reframing helps your brain develop a more balanced and resilient response to challenges. In addition to pausing and reframing, another powerful practice is mindfulness. Mindfulness involves training your brain to stay present rather than getting lost in worries about the future or regrets about the past. One simple way to build mindfulness is to focus on your senses. When you feel overwhelmed, take a moment to notice what you see, hear, and feel. This grounds you in the present and helps you regain control over your reactions. Regular physical exercise is also an essential part of rewiring the brain for calmness. Exercise releases endorphins, which help regulate mood and reduce stress. Activities like yoga, tai chi, or even a daily walk can train your nervous system to stay balanced under pressure. Another key aspect of mental training is reducing exposure to unnecessary stress triggers. If you constantly consume negative news, engage in toxic conversations, or overload yourself with commitments, your brain stays in a heightened state of stress. Being intentional about what you allow into your mental space helps create an environment where calmness can thrive. Over time, with consistent practice, these small changes add up. The more you train your brain to pause, breathe, reframe, and stay present, the more automatic these responses become. Eventually, calmness will no longer be something you try to do. It will be your natural way of being. Training your brain for calmness isn't about ignoring stress or pretending problems don't exist. It's about developing the ability to face challenges with clarity, resilience, and control. The more you strengthen this skill, the more powerful you become, not because stress disappears, but because it no longer controls you. Just as physical exercise strengthens the body, mental training strengthens the mind. Yet, while most people understand the importance of working out to build physical strength, very few actively train their minds to develop calmness and resilience. In a world filled with distractions, stress, and uncertainty, having a strong and steady mind is not just a luxury, it's a necessity. The ability to remain calm under pressure doesn't happen by accident. It requires daily mental training, just like an athlete who practices every day to prepare for a big game. You wouldn't expect to lift heavy weights at the gym without first building a foundation of strength. And the same applies to mental resilience. If you don't train your mind consistently, it will default to stress, anxiety, and overreaction when challenges arise. But when you build a habit of mental training, you develop a sense of inner stability that allows you to navigate even the toughest situations with clarity and confidence. One of the most powerful tools for mental training is meditation. Meditation isn't about sitting in silence and trying to empty your mind. It's about learning to observe your thoughts without being controlled by them. When you meditate regularly, you train yourself to become aware of your mental patterns and emotions. Instead of reacting impulsively to stress, you develop the ability to step back, assess the situation, and choose a thoughtful response. Even just 5 to 10 minutes of meditation a day can significantly improve your ability to stay calm under pressure. Another effective practice is journaling. Writing down your thoughts, worries, and emotions helps you process them in a structured way. Instead of letting anxious thoughts spiral in your mind, putting them on paper allows you to see them more clearly and separate irrational fears from real concerns. A simple habit like writing 3 things you're grateful for each day can shift your focus from stress to appreciation, rewiring your brain for a more positive and resilient mindset. Gratitude itself is a powerful mental training tool. When you actively practice gratitude, you teach your brain to focus on what's going well instead of what's going wrong. This shift in perspective reduces stress and increases emotional stability. A grateful mind is a calmer mind because it is not constantly searching for problems, it is recognizing the good that already exists. Breathing exercises are another essential part of mental training. Your breath is directly linked to your nervous system, and controlling it allows you to regulate your emotions in real time. A simple exercise, like the 4-7-8 breathing technique, inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 7 seconds, and exhale for 8 seconds, can instantly calm your nervous system. When practiced regularly, deep breathing becomes a natural response to stress, helping you maintain control over your emotions in any situation. Physical movement also plays a crucial role in training the mind. Exercise is not just for the body, it directly impacts mental health. Activities like yoga, tai chi, and even a daily walk in nature help regulate stress hormones and build emotional resilience. The connection between body and mind is undeniable. And when you move your body regularly, you train your brain to handle stress more effectively. Another essential part of mental training is setting boundaries with negativity. Constant exposure to negative news, toxic relationships, or excessive social media can keep your brain in a state of stress. Being mindful of what you consume mentally is just as important as being mindful of what you eat. Reducing unnecessary negativity allows your mind to focus on growth, clarity, and peace. One of the most important aspects of mental training is consistency. Just like going to the gym once won't make you strong, practicing mindfulness, gratitude, or breathing exercises occasionally won't create lasting calmness. The key is to integrate these practices into your daily routine so they become second nature. Over time, the effects compound, and you start noticing a difference, not just in how you handle stress, but in how you experience life as a whole. The beauty of daily mental training is that it prepares you for challenges before they even arise. Instead of being caught off guard by stress and scrambling to react, you enter difficult situations with a sense of inner stability. You become the kind of person who stays calm, thinks clearly, and makes thoughtful decisions, no matter what is happening around you. At the end of the day, mental training is not just about avoiding stress, it's about building the kind of mindset that allows you to thrive in any situation. And the best part, you don't need anything external to start. Your breath, your thoughts, and your focus are all within your control. The more you train your mind, the more unshakable you become. When you train your mind to stay calm in difficult situations, you're not just improving your own well-being, you're also influencing the people around you. Calmness is contagious. Just as stress and panic can spread from person to person, so can composure and confidence. This is why the best leaders, the ones people trust and respect, are those who remain steady under pressure. They don't just react emotionally to problems, they take a step back, assess the situation, and respond with clarity. Think about a time when you were in a stressful situation with a group of people. Maybe it was a workplace crisis, an unexpected challenge in a project, or even an emergency. If the leader in that situation panicked, it probably made everyone else feel more anxious. But if they stayed calm, it reassured the team and gave everyone confidence that the problem could be solved. That's the power of a calm leader. They don't just manage situations well, They bring out the best in others by creating a sense of stability and direction. One of the most important qualities of a calm leader is emotional control. Many people mistakenly believe that being calm means not feeling emotions. That's not true. Great leaders still feel fear, frustration, and stress, just like anyone else. The difference is that they don't let those emotions dictate their actions. They understand that emotions are temporary, and reacting impulsively often leads to regret. Instead, they pause, reflect, and choose the best response for the situation. This ability to remain calm under pressure also builds trust. Whether you're leading a team at work, guiding your family through challenges, or simply interacting with friends, people naturally look to those who seem steady and composed. They want to know that no matter what happens, you won't break down or lose control. When people trust your ability to stay calm, they feel more secure in your leadership and they're more likely to follow your guidance. Another reason calm leaders inspire others is that they create a sense of clarity in chaotic situations. When a crisis happens, emotions run high and people often struggle to think clearly, but a leader who remains calm can cut through the noise, focus on the facts, and provide a clear path forward. This clarity is incredibly valuable because it allows teams, families, and even entire organizations to navigate challenges more effectively. So, how do you become the kind of person who stays calm and inspires others? It starts with self-awareness. The next time you're in a difficult situation, pay attention to how you react. Do you tense up? Do you let frustration take over? Or do you take a breath and approach the problem logically? Recognizing your patterns is the first step to changing them. Another important practice is learning to manage stress before it builds up. Leaders who remain calm under pressure don't just rely on willpower in the moment, they prepare themselves daily. They practice mindfulness, exercise regularly, and make time for rest so that when challenges arise, they already have the mental strength to handle them. It's also crucial to develop the habit of responding instead of reacting. When faced with a stressful situation, take a moment to pause before making a decision. Ask yourself, what is the best response here? What outcome do I want? This simple habit helps you avoid emotional reactions and instead choose a thoughtful approach. Over time, as you consistently practice these habits, you'll notice a shift. People will start to see you as someone they can rely on. Your presence will bring a sense of stability to any situation, and most importantly, you'll feel more in control of your own life, knowing that no matter what happens, you have the ability to remain steady. At its core, calm leadership is not just about how you handle stress, it's about how you shape the energy of those around you. When you develop the ability to stay composed, you give others permission to do the same. You create an environment where people feel safe, focused, and capable. You set a standard that encourages resilience, thoughtful decision-making, and trust. This is why training your mind for calmness isn't just a personal advantage, it's a leadership skill. Whether you lead a company, a team, a family, or simply yourself, your ability to stay steady under pressure has a direct impact on those around you. And when you master this skill, you don't just improve your own life, you inspire others to do the same. As she sat watching the world go by, something caught her eye. It wasn't so much its color or shape, but the way it was moving. She squinted to see if she could better understand what it was and where it was going, but it didn't help. As she continued to stare into the distance, she didn't understand why this uneasiness was building inside her body.